Imagine a world 6.5 million years ago. The Earth looks both familiar and strange. The dense forests of Africa are slowly giving way to open grasslands. Herds of antelope and primitive elephants roam the plains. Enormous predators such as saber-toothed cats and giant crocodiles lurk in the shadows. And within this dangerous and changing environment, our earliest ancestors, the very first hominins, are struggling to survive. This was a time when the line between ape and human was still blurred. Creatures like Sahelanthropus chidensis and Orrorin tugenensis are among the oldest known species that walked partially on two legs. They were not yet human, but they carried the first sparks of what would become us. But survival for them was not just about finding food or escaping predators. It was also about something deeper: the bond of family, the power of connection, and the role of new life in shaping their future. Childbirth 6.5 million years ago was nothing like it is today. There were no doctors, no safe shelters, no tools to assist. For a female hominin, giving birth was one of the most dangerous moments of her life. Why? Because as our ancestors slowly evolved to walk upright, the shape of their pelvis changed. This made childbirth more difficult compared to other primates. The infant's head, already larger because of a growing brain, had to pass through a narrower birth canal. The risk of death was high. Both mother and baby were vulnerable. And yet, through instinct, strength, and the support of the group, life continued. Unlike many solitary animals, early hominins likely gave birth within the safety of their small communities. Females may have been supported by sisters, mothers, or other females during labor. This early cooperation may have been one of the very first steps toward human social structure. When a newborn arrived, it was fragile, blind, and completely dependent. Unlike most animals that can walk within hours, hominin infants required long-term care. This demanded more than a mother's effort. It required help from fathers, siblings, and extended family members. This was the beginning of something extraordinary: the family bond that defines humanity. Why were family ties so important? Because in such a dangerous world, no individual could survive alone. Mothers provided milk, warmth, and protection. Fathers likely helped with food gathering and guarding against predators. Older siblings learned to share responsibilities, carrying infants or watching them while adults searched for food. These bonds created trust, cooperation, and emotional connection. For the first time, survival was not only about the individual but about the group. And in this shift, the seeds of human society were planted. As infants grew into toddlers, play became their education. They climbed branches, copied the movements of adults, and learned which fruits were safe to eat. Playtime was not just fun, it was a survival lesson. Through imitation, young hominins absorbed knowledge about their environment. Which paths led to water? Which plants healed wounds? Which calls signaled danger? Family was the first school, and every generation passed on the wisdom needed to live another day. Of course, family life was never safe. Every sound in the grass could mean death. A lion waiting to pounce, a massive python hiding in the shadows. Even diseases and accidents could wipe out entire groups. But family unity gave them a chance. By staying together, keeping watch, and sharing responsibility, they increased their odds of survival. The strength of the family was greater than the strength of any single individual. Scientists believe that these family structures were not just about survival in the moment. They shaped our evolution. Longer childhoods meant more time for brain development. Cooperation in raising children encouraged communication and empathy. Stronger emotional bonds laid the foundation for complex social behavior. In other words, the simple act of caring for one another began to define what it meant to be human. 6.5 million years ago, our ancestors could not have imagined the world we live in today. Yet, in their struggle to give birth, to raise children, and to protect their families, they set in motion the story of humanity. Every one of us alive today is here because they succeeded. Because mothers survived childbirth. Because fathers and siblings protected the young. Because families stayed together when the world was full of danger. The bond of family is not just a human invention of modern times. It is a gift passed down from the very beginning of our journey. From the moment the first infant cried in the arms of its mother 6.5 million years ago, the story of humanity truly began.